Good afternoon, partners. Thank you for attending our SBCA enablement sessions for our third parties. Today with us we have FullView Solutions, and they're going to show you guys the full functionality of Bitrix24, the CRM solution. But as always, I always advise, if you are looking for new solutions to give your customers better endpoints with the SBCA product, please take a look at the marketplace. As always, just click search on Google, say marketplace, Sage, ZA, and it's the second link. The first link is always the Sage, it's always the Sage advertised sponsored link. So second link will take you to our marketplace. Left-hand side, filter by Sage accounting. It should show you all third-party solutions which are linked to the SBCA. And so without further ado, Johannika from FullView Solutions will take you through their integration with Bitrix24. Johannika, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. Excited to do this with you. Thank you very much, Sage, for the opportunity to share our passion with the Sage partners. So we've been partners with Sage in different areas for the last about 15 years for different products, and we've been doing Bitrix for the last 8 years or so. So that's all we do. We eat, sleep, drink, just Bitrix24. And our passion is to help businesses to manage everything in one system and be proactive and have instant access to all the information they need. So before we dive into Bitrix, I'd just like to chat about some background things. And there's one question is, if we were in a room, I would have asked you to raise your hands. Who still spends a lot of time digging through emails and spreadsheets, trying to find information and know what's next? What do we have to do next? So we all struggle with that. And what I've done is I've spoken to a few companies in the accounting industry and also to some of my friends that's in the accounting industry to see, okay, what are some of the frustrations that they experience? Because we often look for a solution when we have a frustration. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, or if you can recognize any of these frustrations, is we always have, well, you always have tight deadlines because of SaaS or customers. You've got priorities shifting because there's a new thing coming in that needs to happen. You need critical information. You need that VAT number or that company registration number quickly to be able to do the work that you have to do. And then you lose time if you need to search between all these emails and capture data again and again and again for the same customer. So I don't know if any of this sounds familiar to you. Then linked to this is what we don't realize is because we have these frustrations, we also lose money. So if we miss a follow-up, it's missed revenue, especially if it's on a possible new lead. If we do double work, I still get paid once for that job from the customer, but I need to do it double. And sometimes we've got a limited single view of the customer's information. And then, like I said previously, you have to scratch and search around in emails to find information. And then we also have difficulty tracking our time on what we've done. I don't know about you, my day often is covered by a gazillion things, and I can't remember what time I spent on what. So yeah, the costs at the back of these frustrations is something that we often miss. But then there's good news. So there is a solution. Okay, so that's where Bitrix comes into the picture, because it helps you with, if we look at the main items, Bitrix is huge. It's got a lot of modules, but for today I want us to focus on a few main items, like allocating work across departments effectively, to know who needs to do what for which customer when, and to track your billable hours. How long did you spend on a specific task? And then manage those recurring tasks like the SaaS things, VAT, PAYE, and audits and all of that, to know that you get an automatic reminder before the time, not when it's due tomorrow. and then also to keep all your communication files and history in one place to have easy access to it. So if any one of these seems valuable to you and something that you would like in your business, then I've got good news for you. I'm going to show you the solution now, just with some basic features in Bitrix24. So Bitrix24, the version I'm showing you, it is a cloud-hosted system. So just like you have the Sage Business Cloud Accounting, it's in the cloud, so you don't have to worry about doing backups on your PC and everything. You get a username and a password, and you can access it from anywhere, Timbuktu, wherever you're sitting. And it also has a mobile application that if you don't have your computer with you, you've got easy access to the info there as well. Okay, so that's enough talking about pictures and slides and everything. Let me show you an example, a demo of how you can use the information in Bitrix to help you run your business. If you have any specific questions, you are welcome to pop it in the chat. My team is also on the call, and they can have a look if there's a way that they can maybe quickly answer something. Else we will do a Q&A at the end. So I like to compare Bitrix sometimes to having, we used to have all those old files in our offices for each customer. It's this big file with everything that's happened. If you think about that in an electronic way, that is where Bitrix comes into the picture. It does have a lot of modules, so don't be scared when you look at this view that you see now for the companies. There is a lot of menu items and options all over, but we've got your back on that. So when we help you to implement, we'll hide whatever's not applicable. So this is our demo system, so there is a lot, but we can focus on what's in the middle over here, and that is the module that we'll be working on. So I want to focus on the companies, all your customers then, and the tasks you have to do for them. In Bitrix, you can also manage your leads, so your new inquiries, taking it through the process, making sure everybody's done the relevant follow-ups. But I just want to focus on the companies and the tasks for today. So if you look at this view, this could be who is all your customers in your company. It's all on one place, and then this is just an example of the type of information you can save about your customers. You create whatever you want that's relevant for your business. I just created these few items to show you that I can have easy access to whatever the information is. You have a search here on top, so if I want to search for a specific company, I can simply search and it will show me, okay, these are all my companies with the word mines in it. It's almost like looking at your Outlook, having these different columns, and you can change it around in terms of what you would want to see. But let's look at a practical example. So if I have a customer called Summers Mines and I need to do something for them, I can go to my Bitrix and open up Summers Mines, and then I've got like a little file or a card for them with everything related to that business. This is your canvas, I always say. If you want additional information like how many employees they have or specific addresses, you can simply create those fields over here if you are the administrator and then save that info. So if I go down like this, you can see that information that you saw on the list view I have here as well. And I've added some information that I think would be valuable in an accounting company, like all the statutory numbers and when is the year end, what VAT cycle do they have, a folder that gives me direct access to all their documents, being company registration documents or whichever you need. So that whoever needs to work on this company, Summers Mines, can simply come over here and have access to all the information. Okay, so that's my information on the left. Think about a little Excel that you can share with everybody, but it's live. When I change this PAYE number over here to that. And now Philip needs to access this company. He will see that immediately. Just a sideline note, so we do add edit permissions, because if you give too many permissions to everybody, then it might become a bit chaotic in terms of who's updating what. So you can add permissions to that. So that's having the info. But now just having the info is not where it stops. Is you guys do lots of work for different customers every day and with different deadlines. And that's where at the back of these companies, you've got the Bitrix tasks module. So if you look at the right side of the screen, these are my activities. So yes, this is Summer's Minds with all of the information, but I've got certain actions I need to do for them. So I've created 2 examples for you over here of tasks that has to be done. If I look at this and I open it up, it's almost like opening an email. I can have a list of items, what I have to do the audit. You can either just create it blank, like creating a blank brand new email, or you can use templates. I'll show you an example now, because I don't know about you, but if I have repeat things that I need to do in my business, it really helps me to have a checklist. I've got a friend that's actually at an auditing firm, and she's taken sticky notes and put it on the right of her screen to know that when she does an audit, she needs to follow all those sticky notes. So this is kind of like what you can use for that. I can tick my boxes as I go through the process to know that I've done everything. And then if I need to add documents to this, you've got the option to add it here on the comments. Once again, almost like an email. So I can say whatever files I'm uploading over here. And then whoever's working on this customer, if it's everybody in your company, if there's no rules in terms of confidentiality, I upload it onto this task. And then whoever wants to know what's going on with the tasks for the audit can open up this task on Summer's Minds, and they will see what's been done. It's almost like think about Facebook as well. So I can just add comments here, whatever I would want to add. And whoever adds it has a name tag stamped on it. So if one of my other team members would add a comment over there, it will show their name and the date stamp of when they did it. But you also work on time. So it's not just what I did, it's how long did it take for me to do it. So what you can do on a task is if I need to do this audit, I can log my time. I can say it took me 3 hours to say I had to do the filing, whatever I had to do. And everybody in your team can log their time on this one task. So you can see a total of how much time was spent on this specific task for Summer's Minds. On the right, you can see there's different people involved with the task. So if you have a team leader or an account manager or a partner that needs to look at the work that you do, they can be a supervisor on your task to follow the work or approve something or add comments. And then we've got a deadline. And the deadline comes in handy when we look at something in Bitrix that's called repeat tasks. So like you set up a meeting, a repeat meeting for every Monday with management or whatever, you can set up these type of repeat tasks in Bitrix. And that's where it becomes handy for all those SaaS things that you have to do. So if I have a new customer and I know their VAT is always due on, I think it's on the 25th or something, and it's every 2nd month or 6th month or something, you set up that repeat task so you don't have to remember that it's now VAT for Summer's Minds or whichever company. Your task is already there, and after this we can look at the view of your tasks so that when you start your day, you can start by looking at what's due today. What do I have to do today? Instead of rambling through all your emails and seeing what's the most important thing for today. So just to recap, so this is my task. I like to say, what am I doing for who by when? So there's the what, there's the who. So I'm doing it for Summer's Minds. I've got a deadline. And then I can also add some comments on whatever I've been doing in this specific task. When I'm done with this, if I've ticked all my boxes, see my checklist is completed, I can say I am now finished and my task is done. I go back to Summer's Minds and I can see, all right, the only task outstanding still for Summer's at the moment is to do their VAT. And these are just two basic examples of tasks. You can create as many as you want for whatever, if it's just a general thing to go to the customer, to pick up documentation or whatever, you can create the task by using the activities here on the right. So if I use this button, I'm going to create a new task. And then it's like compiling an email. I can say I have to do a site visit, say collect documents by when. I've got a deadline. I need to do it on the 14th. It is linked to Summer's Minds. So that's the whole CRM, your contact relationship management. And that is who is responsible for it. It's me. So I'm logged in as Bitrix helper, or I can tell someone else. I can say, Clara, you need to go do the site visit to collect the documents. So she's got the what do I have to do, by when, and for who, Summer's Minds. The moment I create this, I can see there's my new task. So this is just to help you manage what you have to do every day. Before I go to the view of your tasks when you basically start your day, I want us to look at email. So I don't know about you, but I presume you also send and receive a gazillion of emails every day. And with Bitrix, we integrate those emails so that you only have one view of what's happening. And the same as with my tasks here on my activities, I can send an email. So what's important to know is that this is integrated with your email platform. Yes, Outlook might be the tool that you're using, but your email is either with Office 365 or Gmail or your website or whatever. So it plugs in. So it's the same view on both platforms. And now I can send an email about something random, or I can have a template that I pick. So this can just be a blank email. Whatever I would want to type, you have the option to add your signatures just like in Outlook, and I can send it from different senders here. So if you have something like accounts or inquiries or your personal email, you've got the option to send it from either one of them. Like if in Outlook you've got different accounts set up, I can attach files just like I would do in my Outlook or whatever mail platform I'm using, and I can send the email from here. So I'm going to send this, and then we'll see the history on the right. So that comes back to that one slide where I said a single view of everything. I can see the mail that's been sent, and I can see the tasks that are still outstanding for this customer. On the emails, so I've sent that email saying, please set up a meeting, but I would also be able to see their response. So just for the sake of time, I'm just going to scroll down and show you this email that says it was an incoming email. So I sent an email requesting more information. There's the original email. And then there was the reply saying, please find the attach, and there's my attachment. So you don't have to go to Outlook or whichever you use for email to now search sent from Summer's Minds and find everything. It's all on one place here on the company's profile. You can also use, I'll just send you another one to show you an example. So it can either be blank or you can set up quite a few templates. So I just added one as an example for payroll reminder, that you need to send the customer before payroll, or something for before VAT or before they audit or whatever. You always send them a template with the same information. If we look at the CRM process management side that we're not going to get time for now, is you can even have these go out automatically. So if you know the date of their financial year end, a month before, I don't know how long it takes to prepare all of those, it can automatically send the customer a reminder saying, remember, it's your year end, we need these documents XYZ from you, and they can send you so long. Helps the machines do things for us that we don't get the time for. We can do the working with the customer, so we don't have to worry about that. So that's your email templates and your email. And then lastly, I want to show you over here, we've got comments. So maybe there's just a general comment about this customer. We need to know CEO is on leave till 12 September. So I'm not getting a hold of the CEO, and then I can go to some of mine just to see, okay, is there maybe a note on and a reason why I'm not getting hold of them, or they're going to split and make new divisions or something like that. But Bitrix and most CRM tools is only as powerful as the user's input. So it's a habit. It's a habit where you need to go into Bitrix, load the information, update your tasks, and capture documents. And I promise you, you will realize the value of it once you actually need it. We like to use the example where I was supposed to go and do a sales demo, and there's an emergency, I couldn't go. And Philip could simply go to Bitrix, open up Bitrix with all the history and emails for that specific sale, and he knew what was happening. So if you're busy and you need specific documents for an audit, and you know somebody else was working on it, but they're on leave now, you don't have to WhatsApp or phone them or search through emails. As long as it's uploaded onto Bitrix, you'll have easy access to it. So it's not a magic bullet where you install and everything happens automatically. Let's look at the tasks from a different angle. So if I close this, just a refresher. So this is my view of all my customers with whatever information I need to save. And I can filter and search. And oh, what I missed is it's assigned to a specific person. So you can either just have the customers, there's the whole database, and specific people are assigned to specific tasks. Or if you have an account manager that's responsible for Mighty Minds. Sandra works with Mighty Minds. If there's questions about it or if they call, we know Sandra deals with them. And that's where we use a responsible person in Bitrix. So that is viewing of the companies. Then I want to jump to tasks. So you saw all those tasks on the right of Summer's Minds, but you don't want to open up every company every day to see, okay, this is what I have to do for company XYZ. The ideal would be if you can start with this view every day. See, these are my tasks. That's due. So if I'm the supervisor or the department head, I can see the tasks for everybody. But each user can just have a view where they only see their own tasks. So if I use an example, so I can search over here, I'm just going to say, show me all the tasks for Sandra. Then I can see Sandra. If I'm logged in as Sandra, these are my 2 tasks for the day. I need to do the PAYE and the VAT, and my deadline, this one's already overdue, and this one's due on the 15th. So you can sort it like on your Outlook once again, based on deadlines or the company name of the task or whatever. So instead of, like I said, starting on your email every day, you can start over here and see this is what I have to do. I'll open up my task. And now I've got the reverse view. So on the company, I created the tasks. So I had a view of all the tasks on the right. Now I've got the reverse. So I can see what do I have to do. And if I need the statutory information or the tax numbers or whatever for Clara and Co., I've got an easy access link here on my task. I can click on that. And there's all the info that I need if you need to complete documents. And like you see this over here, if they've got a specific link for, I don't know, e-filing or something or whatever, you can save all of that on the company's profile. Now I can do what I have to do, add my comments, log my time in terms of how long did it take me to do this, 1 hour, and then finish my task. So now Sandra's tasks will be better. She's only got 1 to do. And you'll follow the same process over and over again. So this is just an example of 2 tasks, but you can imagine if you have a lot, you can even go a step further to say you can sort them by, is it a VAT task, is it a PAYE, is it an audit, is it a company registration? You can filter them so you don't see this big view, this overwhelming mass of tasks. You can do it bit by bit. There are different ways in Bitrix to see different things. I don't want to go into too much detail of that. So, but if you look at this on top over here, you can use your view in a list, or you can also, if you prefer to work with a calendar view, you can work with a calendar view. Same information, just a different way that you see it, and you can set up filters once again for what you would want to see. So now I can see my task that is due on the 15th. Okay, so afterwards we can give you a link to register a free account. You can play around. So there's more views, but I'm going to just stick to these 2 now for the sake of time. Okay, so let's just recap on what we've done up to now. So I've got my company with all the information, and I've got tasks that I need to do for them. But linked to all these tasks are documents. You've got I don't know, slips, a simple thing or whatever that is needed for this customer, or their actual company registration document. So in Bitrix, you've got a drive that's linked to all of this at the bottom. And that if you use this, if you see this link at the bottom, if I need any documents for this customer, I can open up this link, and then all the relevant information is saved in this folder for Summer's Minds. As long as everybody uploads the relevant info there, it's easy access to get whatever you need. And you can even go one step further. If I go back and I go to, let's go to this company as an example, you could even have the documents filed per year for whatever the tax season or whatever you require. It's just like using OneDrive or Google Drive. You create folders and you can share it with specific team members or not. If it's something that's confidential, you don't have to share it. So that's the documents part at the back. And then lastly, I want to show you the email view. So if I open up this, and this is like I said, when we connect the email, you've got 2 views. You've got your view in Outlook like you normally have, or you can view it in Bitrix. And the nice part about doing it over here is if you receive an email and it is something that you have to do, there's an action you have to do, and I read the email over here, I can do this. I can create a task with all of the information embedded into the task. I can assign it to somebody else. So I can assign it to Philip. I can give him a deadline. This is when he has to do it, and I can save it. So I'm not forwarding the email just to Phil. I create a task for him, and then on his side, he can open it up and he will see the whole email, everything on his side. So that's your webmail view over here. You can send emails here, just like I did on the other side from the companies. If I want to see the history of a customer, if their email address is already in my Bitrix, and you see this hyperlink CRM, customer relationship management, so anything to do with my customer. I can jump to the company again from here. I like to compare Bitrix sometimes to a house, so you can enter from the front door, or the back door, or the kitchen, or whatever, whichever way you come in. You can have access to the same information to be able to do your job more efficiently. That's the webmail. We've looked at the company drive. Then if I can just touch a little bit on the sales side, I'm not going to go into too much detail of it. So Bitrix is not meant to replace any accounting system, but we have built an integration to complement whatever happens in accounts. So we've got our sales teams, we've got our finance teams, and sometimes there's a bit of a disconnect between the two. And we're trying to bridge that gap by connecting Bitrix with your Sage. So that when I go back to Summer's Mines, if I do this, I can have a tab over here that shows me all the invoices for Summer's Mines. And that's where we integrate. So whatever invoices are on my Bitrix can be on my Sage. Vice versa, you can decide who's the master, because we don't want things to be populated from both sides. And then the thing that it updates from the Sage side to Bitrix is when was that invoice paid? Because internally, I know, me and Jess, when we need to know, did a customer pay an invoice? I don't want to phone Phil every time and ask him, did they pay? I open up the invoices and I can see the status of the invoice to see if it has been paid. So we'll just go to the invoices and I'll show you an example. So you can see, so what we do with our integration is you create the invoice in Bitrix, you move it to a stage where it syncs with Bitrix, and then when Phil marks it on his side, on the accounting side as paid, Bitrix will update it automatically to this stage that says paid. That's a whole other webinar on its own. If you are interested in looking at the Sage integration and the details of that, you are more than welcome to contact us and we can set up a session with you. So that's my very high level demo of Bitrix24. It is a huge tool. If I just show you very quickly, there is a lot. Those are the menu items of features in Bitrix24. Please contact us if you want to look at something specific. I want to open up the floor a little bit for questions and especially related to your industry, to say what makes you excited about this. If you could have a magic wand and you can have one of these implemented in your business tomorrow to make your life easier, what would that be? Or is there anything that maybe I didn't think about that you have specific questions? My team is on the call as well, and you're welcome to ask some questions.
Partners, the mics are available. So if you have a question, feel free to raise your hand and unmute yourself. Alternatively, if you are shy, this is an interactive session. You can also put your question in the chat or in the Q&A, and the FullView team will be able to answer any questions.
So while you're typing and thinking, Bitrix is available or is there for any industry. So you don't have to look at this only as a solution for yourself, but also for your customers. To see if you can see any value of it, any value for it in your business. You can think about your customers, if there will be any need for them. And we do have a referral program. So if you refer your customers to us and there's a successful sale, you can get some kickback to your company for a successful referral. But there's definitely a lot of value in it for accounting firms. We've got a customer using the Sage integration, and when I asked him once, does it make a difference in your business? He said, well, it's like, because we create invoices from different portals for him, it's like getting in my car driving to Durban versus getting in my car and flying to Durban. because you can't get a flat tire or no room for error or whatever. It just makes it so much smoother. And I can spend time doing this instead of recapturing invoices every day.
Makes sense. And the ability to track the entire sales process with the customer as well. And
exactly.
And then add those details onto that customer's profile. And also in terms of just that customer relation, any queries or anything, having it all tracked so that the team can actually interact with that customer, that is huge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially for those who have small companies where there's one guy flying around going left, right, and middle center, and all the details they are capturing, they come straight back to head office and it can be tracked properly. That is quite a capability.
I see we don't have any questions at the moment, so I will use the extra time just give you a basic overview then of how you can manage your inquiries. Okay, so let's go back to Bitrix. So in Bitrix, we've got the concept of leads and deals. Don't want to spend too much time explaining the difference between the two, but I compare a lead to a business card. It's just somebody that asks for something, and the deal is when you're actually now starting to onboard that customer, going through all the steps to do whatever has to be done. Okay, and then you'll set up your stages. It doesn't have to be complicated. You just want to know, did somebody contact this customer and was there a follow-up? You set up these stages based on your business, how your processes work. And then the same that we had the companies, we can have this and say, this is my inquiry. I have all their contact details. I know the company and I can know what the inquiry was about. And then the important part, like I said with the companies, is you need to add comments to say, what have you done? Did you call them? If you have one of the paid versions and you want to use Bitrix as your PBX, you can even click the phone number and dial from here. But I can say have to set up meeting. And once again, because I did it, you can see it has my user icon here. I don't know if one of my team members in the back wants to be clever and also log in and add a comment there, then you can see what it looks like if it's somebody else. So as long as you capture it over here, you've got that overview. And you can have automatic reminders. We all get busy. You see an email, a new inquiry comes in and you forget about it. So Bitrix can remind you within specific time periods to say, if in 15 minutes you haven't followed up with this customer, remind me or remind whoever is the head of sales to follow up with this customer. Move it through your different stages. These stages on top, anywhere where you see this in Bitrix, it's called the Kanban view. You set up the stages that you want. Okay. So Phil's also logged in with this user. That's why it says loves the product also with that. But whatever user you are logged in with, it will show that little icon. So yeah, these stages you created based on your business's process. You can make it really long, but I always advise not to have it too long because then it kind of defeats the purpose of having a view of your board of where all your sales inquiries are. You can think about this, and I think that's also what the word Kanban refers to, is if this was a big whiteboard in my office and I can have lines on it and sticky notes in terms of all the sales inquiries that has to be managed, and each person can have different color. So Phil knows if he needs to do his work for the day, he can pick up his color sticky note. That's it. Then in this, you've also got some AI. If you need to do comments, make notes of a meeting or something, you can use the comments field and you can use AI. So in a lot of places in Bitrix, you use your space bar to activate the AI. And now I can click the microphone and I can give all the comments. I don't know if it's going to like the fact that I'm using my mic now in two places to say, transcribe my whole meeting, my whole comments, everything about this audit, and it will transcribe it for me and I can save it or even summarize it. If you're like me and we say too much, it can summarize it for you to have only that summarized version saved over there. You've also got the AI available in your tasks. Same thing. If I go over here and I press that, I can do the same thing. I can narrate here and tell the whole story about what I would want to do. If I have a very long email that I want summarized, I can also paste it over here. It's like having ChatGPT in your CRM. So then you can paste it over here and you can use this function again to summarize it for you. Okay. So, but it also has, like you have ChatGPT, you can also have Copilot in your Bitrix to ask those questions like you ask ChatGPT. So if I go over here on the right menu, there's a little icon over here that looks like that. You can use Copilot to ask questions. And it's got specific roles. That's one of the nice things I like. If I want to ask a question, I can give it a specific role. So you don't have to explain the background to say, I'm HR, I'm sales, I'm this. You can just, it automatically answers it from within that scenario. Okay, so I can pick, say I'm the copywriter. And then when I ask the question, it answers as if it already knows I am a copywriter. This is available to everybody, every user in your Bitrix24, and they have their own conversations. Nobody can know what you're actually asking and the AI in your Bitrix24. So that's my sales, that's the AI. There's a lot more. If you're interested in seeing more of the features, please, you have our contact details. You're welcome to pop us an email and we can set up another session. You can also visit our YouTube channel. There's a lot of short videos over there about what we do. If you're interested in just the Sage integration on how you can keep your sales team and your finance team on the same page, contact us for that specifically as well. You can visit our website and get more information over there. Yannick, back to you.
I did that thing where I started talking before I was unmuted. Thank you so much, Johannika. It's amazing to see this solution at work. And it's always good to get a refresher. Last time I saw Bitrix is when Philip showed it to me about, 2-3 years ago? And once again, it's always an eye-opener just to see how functionality has changed and how AI has also gotten incorporated into the solution.
Yes.
Definitely. All right, partners. As always, there will be a thank you mailer with a link so you guys can give us feedback on how you guys are liking the sessions, or if you don't like them, also let us know so we know how to adapt and change. As always, there will be a thank you mailer which will be sent with the recording of this enablement session for you to share with your colleagues. Please do share it. It's a quick downloadable recording. It allows your colleagues to also get that same view that you guys have received in this enablement session where Johannika demonstrated the functionality of Bitrix in itself. With that being said, partners, thank you so much for your time and thank you so much for attending. Tech partners, Johannika, I think Philip is somewhere in here as well.
He is there.
Right. Thank you so much for taking the time out to run the enablement session for our partners. With that being said, name is Yannick. If you do have any queries around third parties, please feel free to reach out to either myself directly or my team. You can reach out on ame.isv@sage.com. If you need more details on FullView solution and Bitrix24, you can reach out to my team. But then in the thank you mailer, you will get contacts for FullView solutions so that they can take you through their offering in more detail and in a private session. With that being said, please don't forget they do give referrals. So those customers which need them, please recommend the solution. Right. And that's the last little bit from my side. Thank you so much for attending. and have yourselves a wonderful day. The session is over. You can go home. Tell your boss you can go home now. Bye, guys.
Thanks.
Thanks, Yannick.
Cheers.